Hey everyone, LazyFire here. Welcome back to Black. I think I have resolved the issues I was complaining about endlessly. That I'm sure the thread will have noted that I need to stop talking about it. Anyways, we're gonna go and assault this fairly, strong-looking position. That guy didn't last too long.
RV and figures 3, 4, bring it in!
So right now, all of our enemies are equipped with the exact same weapons, so no real issues taking these guys out. And there's always plenty of ammo. But there is something that I need to mention, and you've seen it with the RPG, and maybe a little bit more with the shotgun. The game, because of its two-weapon system, often doesn't really allow you to pick up stuff that you're just not going to have ammo for, which is nice. It's good. But it's a little annoying that, they plan how the weapons are going to work. There's a couple of times, especially late in the game, where you're just... Damn, come over here. The AI on this game, not really smart. Where are you going? What are you going to do? But they will dodge your shots. Okay. Gonna quick save. Let's see why. Hopefully not, actually. Alright, good. So that's one. Next one is actually over there. Do not fire in this room of explosives. No? Okay. The enemy, like in all video games, will take cover behind explosive things. Like cars and everything, which is kind of understandable actually at the end of the day. But like explosive boxes and barrels and everything, they don't really have a high life expectancy. So anyways, getting back to that point, with the RPG, and you'll see later with some other weapons, I think even in this chapter, you'll get them and you'll want to hold on to them for a much longer time than you really have ammo for. There's one weapon in the last level of the game that it shows up and you have 60 rounds for it, and then there's no more in the entire level. I have not solved my issues. Oh, good. It's our friend the Shotgun Man. This guy is armored. He can take a lot of headshots. Weak to rockets. I'm actually going to guess that it's because I'm saving and reading from the same disk drive is causing some of these issues. So maybe I'll try moving. Try moving the recording to a different disk.
Area clear, moving in.
So yeah, that's the shotgun guy. He can take a good amount of abuse. You can see here, he's got a mask on. You can take that off with the other, single, your other guns. When he dies, he's just nothing. But he's got body armor as well, so you can't just pump rounds into his chest and hope for the best. You can knock him down, though, so you can shoot him over and then try to, take him out while he's down. Don't recommend that as the way forward, just because, well, frankly, he takes a lot of hits. To do that, too.
2-1, this is 3, message, over.
So even though I have a 60-round AK, he would take 50 of those rounds. You usually don't encounter those guys on their lonesome either. That is the major issue fighting them. They're usually pretty backed up. Hi. Go. Now you can see these guys have helmets too. Because they don't have those face masks, helmets are just kind of visuals. They'll come off in one hit, so headshots are still very effective against them. There's guys later in the game that are body armored similar to the shotgun guys, but radio backpacks? I don't know how the texture is. The farm. That's where we're going now. Keller did mention it in his review with the guy threatening him. Well, that was it. Oh, something I should still mention about the red dot you get with the guns. Even if you've got a red dot and you're aiming at somebody's head, like you saw there, it does not mean that the bullet is going to go at their head. It simply means that you're in the optimal area to have it do what you want it to. This is never explicitly explained. The game doesn't really seem to be very interested in telling you about the mechanics of it. I don't even think they tell you about how to duck. Like, it's something you just find out. Fair enough though, because ducking is not actually required at any point throughout the entirety of the game. It's just good for cover, especially later on. One of the issues that I have with the game, and it's a fairly minor one as far as these things go, is that you get a lot of these firefights like this one here that you just saw, where as soon as it started, I was already outside of effective gun range, which means I'm trying to throw rounds down at these guys that are just not guaranteed to actually hit anything and may actually just, like, go off in some other direction.
Any call sign on this snap. This is Bravo 3. Do you copy? Farmhouse now. I say again, farmhouse now. RV is empty. What is your situation?
Yeah, I'm gonna move the recording location to somewhere, some other drive, and see how that goes in the next round of recordings. It's not too bad right now, but it's also not exactly.
2-1, you're to sweep and clear the area for intel. We'll contact you in figures 2-0. Out.
Okay. So I am going to go through all of these buildings eventually. But there's nothing really there at the moment. You'll need to go through and clear out everything, so it doesn't really matter eventually, but at the moment, not a reason to give you a tour. Oh, and one of the things that drives me nuts, you can't melee those. Just can't do it. I've seen people punch laptops to death. Like, I don't understand why I can't do that here. So, as you can probably guess from what I just said, we are about to enter into a bit of a firefight. It is probably the earliest test of competence that the game throws at you. There's plenty of health packs around, so that's not a huge...
This is 2-1, I have eyes on. Stand 2, enemy advancing on your location.
Covering fire. We got more hostiles coming in.
Goodbye. So yeah, Keller is getting shot at and getting told he's on his own. Now, there's going to be a point where I'm going to get shot in the back, and that will start what I like to call the escape sequence. Oddly enough, when I started playing this game with the idea of LPing it, hi guys, they're shooting me from below the floor. When I started playing it with the mind of LPing it, this was the scene that I remembered the most out of the entire thing. Besides one other that, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, would actually end up ripping off directly years later. Which I thought was fun. Because when I played this game with enough time between this and Modern Warfare 2 that I completely forgot about it. But there's literally fights in a location that looks exactly like a fight location you have in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Anyways, so yeah, this is actually a fairly memorable set of events for the game, and I think that's good. The game really has a lot of like, basically, as you saw when I finished the first level, every level has a set number of enemies. So all of these gunfights are like...
2-1. We have eyes on hostiles in the surrounding buildings. Clear the area. We will support from our location. Over. Contact. Targets ×7. Correction, ×10. Sweep and clear the area. Move now. Move now.
So, the thing about them having a set number... You die. Thank you. A set number of enemies means that the game knows it has to place these enemies at specific intervals to make everything work, right? So most of the fight sequences that you'll see me get into are scripted fights, and the game does pretty well on these. There's a couple that are just near impossible, but I think most of them are actually pretty good. Like, you're gonna see me cheese a couple of fights later on in the game. And I will complain endlessly about having to do it that way, but I honestly think on the last fight in the game, it's the only way to successfully... Only way to successfully do it. Oh boy. I can also take care of... What? Okay. I mean, I'll take it. I wonder if I can throw a grenade through that roof. I can't tell. No. Throw one through this window, though. Ooh, okay. Cool. Blew some extra stuff up there. Love it. Now we're gonna wait for this building till at the end. Just checking to make sure I'm not gonna get shot in the back here. Ugh. Get out of here. Okay. You can see right now my shotgun ammo not exactly lacking. Because the magazine's smaller, I think they make up for that by dropping like a ton of shotgun ammo every time you pick one up. And the shotgun's actually one of... there's actually two shotguns in the game. Most weapons actually have two weapons that classify for whatever the class is. So there's an AK and there's an M16.
3, this is 2-1. Hold your position. We are inbound to rally on your location. Stand by.
But there's also a G36. There's only one sniper rifle. There's 2 SMGs, 3 SMGs. So yeah, you're not going to always get the same weapons, and they don't all function the exact same way. But that said, we have finished yet another level. I missed a recon objective, but otherwise did pretty well there. Body count, of course, is high. Actually, interesting statement. I know that it says enemy count, but I read body count for whatever reason, because the people who worked on this game would actually go to Codemasters after they left Criterion and make a game called Body Count, which is apparently some sort of spiritual successor. Didn't know this till the other day. Might look into that at some point. Anyways, let's get our briefing for the next mission, and I think we'll end it there. I know this was a little bit shorter, but you can see it was a 36-minute long mission. Most of these are usually like 30 to 40-minute missions. I might start breaking these apart, like 20-minute segments like this one was. And so when I say let's go get our next cutscene, I meant in like 40 button presses. Like I'm trying to sign up for a... I don't know what to say. Newsletter, bias team game, something. Like you have to like hit 400 buttons and enter the same information 80 times. Oh, apply to a job. That's a good one. I haven't had to do that in a while. Let's get going. I'm gonna stop talking, chatting.
How did you know McCarver had information on the American?
I'm not sure I follow.
Keller started grilling me on 7th Wave. I told him what I knew.
And what was that?
Rumors mostly. There was talk of an American running training camps in Afghanistan, freelance guerrilla group in the Philippines with an American advisor. You know, stories like that.
And you believed them?
Not at first. But then the blanks started filling in.
What blanks?
Operation Cleopatra. The first time I heard the name William Lennox was when I was posted in Langley. Lennox was a wet work specialist. S4 assassin. Cleopatra was meant to prevent the terrorist bombing in the center of Cairo. It was a disaster. The bomb exploded, killed a lot of people, including Lennox. At least that's what Division thought. 3 months later, he turned up in Moscow. 2 weeks after in Seoul. Then Belgrade, Belfast, London. Always one step ahead.
And you think Lennox is connected to 7th Wave?
Connected? He started the whole thing.
McCarver was brought in yesterday. So how did you know she had info on the American?
Sergeant Solomon was in her unit. He tipped me off. Coincidence, that's all.
I don't believe in coincidence. What was your brief on the next stop?
McCarver wanted an access of advance from the east. Plan was to cross the cemetery on the edge of Nazran and then hit the steel plant on the far side. We were less than a click away when we got hit.
Yeah, so I should mention that the like secondary objectives there that they list, those are just like checkpoints. That's all it is. So you complete them pretty easily, and then the intel stuff counts too.
I thought places like this only existed in movies.
Yeah, well, either way, I don't like it.
All right, and we got our...
This is my kind of place. Full of the type of people I like. Quiet and out of the way.
All right, so yeah, we get to see McCarver up close now. We get our first SMG for this level. But we're going to do that, like I said, in the next one. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you then.